Paul Teutul Sr. with Orange County Choppers is here with the foundation tonight. First of all, thank you for being part of tonight.
You're welcome. I'm proud to be here.
They were the kings of custom motorcycles, the stars of Discovery Channel, and the faces of an American dream built on steel, sweat, and family. But when the cameras stopped rolling, the world of Orange County Choppers fell apart in ways nobody could have predicted. Bankruptcy, lawsuits, addiction, betrayal, and shattered relationships, the empire fans loved was crumbling. Tonight, we'll dive deep into the lives of every key figure from Orange County Choppers, from Paul Sr. to the youngest mechanics, and reveal what happened to each of them. Some stories will shock you. Others will inspire. This is the untold saga of Orange County Choppers. Paul Teutul Sr., the towering figure with folded arms, booming voice, and sunglasses that screamed authority. He wasn't just building motorcycles, he was building a legend. For years, fans watched every episode, cheering as engines roared and tempers exploded. But behind the cameras, the empire was already teetering on the edge. By February 2018, it all came crashing down. Paul Sr. filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy, quietly admitting debts totaling nearly $1.7 million, owed to almost 50 creditors. His assets? Just $1.9 million, barely enough to cover the bills. He earned around $15,700 a month, but spent over $12,600 just to stay afloat. Every cent counted. Even the mansion in Montgomery, New York, once proudly featured on TV, went into foreclosure. By 2019, he had no choice but to sell it for $1.5 million, barely half of what he wanted. The sale included tools, furniture, and even farm animals. Everything had to go. Financial chaos wasn't his only problem. In 2017, his business partner Thomas Derbyshire sued him for fraud, claiming Paul Sr. burned through $3 million meant for a new show. Court records painted a shocking picture. He delayed filming for a week to go fishing, secretly used budget funds to pay his son Michael, and traded supplies for personal projects, all hidden from public view. Legal troubles kept piling up. In 2019, a federal judge found him in contempt of court for failing to pay $17,000 to JTM Motorsports for work on a Corvette. He owed back taxes, credit card debt, and was linked to an alleged investment scam in Florida involving $12 to $15 million. By March 2020, Paul Sr. left New York and moved to Clearwater, Florida, starting over with the OC Museum and Roadhouse. The fame, fortune, and trust were gone, but the man behind the legend still builds bikes at 76, posting videos on YouTube, gripping handlebars as if the old days never ended. Paul Jr. was the face of Orange County Choppers' creative genius. He designed bikes that stunned the world and made the company a household name. But fame has a price. The father-son feud, televised for millions, would leave scars that lasted a lifetime. The breaking point came in 2008. Tensions over decision-making erupted, and Paul Sr. fired his son on live TV. Jr. owned 20% of the company, but Sr. triggered a buyout clause, claiming it was worth nothing. The betrayal was brutal. He was the son who built the company, yet his stake was treated like dust. Paul Jr. fought back. By December 2010, the courts ruled in his favor, but the relationship was fractured beyond repair. Jr. left to launch Paul Jr. Designs in Ship Bottom, New Jersey, building bikes for Microsoft, Cadillac, Mercedes-Benz, and more. The designs were still spectacular, but the empire they built together was gone. Financial troubles caught up. In March 2018, Paul Jr. filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy, listing assets of $1.8 million against debts nearly as high. Tax debt piled up, and the Montgomery mansion he once called home was not enough to save him. Today, Paul Jr. is still in the game, competing at bike shows and judging competitions, but his net worth is only $2 million, a shadow of the empire he helped create. Fame remained, but fortune and family trust did not. Mikey Teutul was the calm, comedic force in a storm of screaming engines and fights. He wasn't building bikes, he was answering phones, cleaning the shop, and lightening the mood. But off camera, Mikey battled a darker enemy, alcohol. As seasons went on, his drinking worsened. Paul Sr., frustrated and fed up, kicked Mikey out of the shop entirely. Rehab became a necessity, a last-ditch effort to save his life. Even after recovery, troubles didn't stop. In 2019, photographer Scott Gunnels sued Mikey and OCC for copyright infringement, resulting in a judgment of $258,484. Financial losses mounted. Mikey sold his mother's house at a $90,000 loss and saw his net worth fall from $2 million to $1 million. But he didn't give up. Returning as assistant general manager at OCC, he handled operations and social media, opened an art gallery, and started Fark Products LLC, selling homemade pasta sauces. Mikey shifted from fame to building a life of stability and creativity, proving there's more than one way to succeed. Vinny D. Martino's story is one of independence. In August 2007, he walked out of OCC after 5 years, taking his skill, integrity, and vision with him. Cold words from Sr. didn't stop him. He co-founded V-Force Customs, then later returned to TV alongside Paul Jr. in American Chopper, Sr. vs. Jr. But the 2008 financial crisis changed everything. The market for custom bikes evaporated. V-Force Customs shut down quietly, and Vinny pivoted, opening DeMartino Motorsports, focusing on honest work fixing cars and trucks in Montgomery. Today, Vinny's estimated net worth is around $1 million. No cameras, no drama, just dedication, resilience, and proof that walking away sometimes leads to true freedom. Rick Petco was the unsung hero of OCC, driving 90 minutes each way for 13 years. He quietly built bikes while others screamed, fought, and feuded. On screen, he was background, but behind the scenes, he was the backbone. By 2016, he walked away, trading fame for peace. He now runs RPD & Co., handcrafting custom knives and wedding bands, attending motorcycle shows with his family, and enjoying life away from the chaos. His net worth? $1.75 million, earned without compromise, but with personal freedom that no paycheck can buy. Cody Connolly joined OCC at 14, growing up on national television. By 20, he walked away, filing a $250,000 lawsuit over unpaid merchandise royalties. The case settled quietly, and Cody disappeared from the motorcycle world. Today, he runs Revel Ranch Excavation, married with a daughter, working in demolition, dirt, and drainage. The boy who once held welding tools on TV now digs through soil far from the spotlight, proof that not every story ends in fame. Jason Paul arrived in 2004 as a digital designer. His futuristic designs impressed some, infuriated others, and made him one of the most controversial figures on the show. He was called arrogant, trolled online, and humiliated on camera. By 2018, with Paul Sr. in bankruptcy and OCC falling apart, Jason quietly left. Today, he works as a SolidWorks brand ambassador, designing far from bike shops and reality TV, with a net worth around $700,000. Nick Hansford kept his life together while chaos unfolded around him. A skilled mechanic, he worked at OCC for 17 years, avoiding lawsuits, drama, and bankruptcy. Today, he lives quietly in Virginia with his family, disappearing from public view by choice. Stability over fame became his priority. Christian Welter joined OCC in 2002 as head mechanic. Calm, steady, and professional, he avoided the public meltdowns and legal disasters. A lifelong drummer, he even formed a band with fellow employee Steve Morrow. After leaving OCC in 2016, Christian continued quietly, living proof that diligence and discretion can be more powerful than fame. Daniel Teutul, the second oldest son, never starred on TV but almost brought down the empire. In 2007, he faced accusations of stripping OC Ironworks of assets, creating a new company, and leaving creditors unpaid. A bankruptcy fine of $500,000 was a wake-up call, but Daniel didn't fold. He rebuilt, creating Gabriel Steel, expanding it to 69 employees by 2024, and even constructed the massive OC headquarters. While his brothers fought in public and lost fortunes, Daniel quietly became a success story, turning scandal into one of New York's strongest steel businesses. The Orange County Choppers saga isn't just about motorcycles. It's about family, ambition, betrayal, and resilience. Some walked away broken, others rebuilt in silence. Fame, fortune, and drama might have faded, but the machines they built, and the legacies they left, still roar today. From bankruptcy courts to quiet workshops, from addiction to redemption, each story shows one truth: even the loudest engines eventually find their way home. Steve Morrow was the quiet glue holding OCC together. As general manager, he managed schedules, finances, and logistics while the Teutul's fought on camera. But Steve's job was never easy. He had to keep the shop operational amid screaming matches, deadlines, and high-profile clients. When Paul Sr. filed for bankruptcy in 2018, Steve quietly took over operational oversight, ensuring builds were still delivered and creditors were contacted. He avoided drama, lawsuits, and public attention, but his work was critical to preventing a total collapse. Today, Steve works in consulting for custom shops across New York and New Jersey, helping them stay financially sound while keeping creative chaos in check. Andy Colucci joined OCC in the mid-2000s as a senior fabricator. He was known for his precision, calm demeanor, and the ability to turn sketches into reality. Unlike others, Andy avoided on-camera fights but was often caught in the crossfire between Paul Sr. and Paul Jr. When the business started to crumble after the 2008 financial crisis, Andy made a bold choice. He left OCC quietly and started Colucci Custom Cycles, building boutique motorcycles for private collectors. His designs were praised for blending classic style with modern engineering. Today, Andy's shop thrives, and he maintains close ties with former OCC colleagues, proving skill and discretion can outlast fame. Tommy Derbyshire was the investor who believed in OCC's television dreams. He poured $3 million into Paul Sr.'s ventures, only to watch it vanish. The lawsuit he filed in 2017 revealed not just mismanagement but a shocking level of secrecy. Sr. allegedly used funds without approval, delayed shoots, and misappropriated money for personal favors. The case sent shockwaves through the custom motorcycle community. While the settlement was private, it left a mark on OCC's reputation. Tommy eventually shifted his focus to consulting and investing in startups, but the lessons from OCC shaped his approach to risk and trust forever. Paula Teutul, mother of the Teutul sons, played a behind-the-scenes role that few appreciated. She sold properties to her children, helped finance builds, and tried to mediate disputes, but even her influence couldn't prevent family chaos. In 2009, Mikey's house, purchased from Paula for $550,000, had to be sold at a loss of $90,000 due to financial pressures. Paula quietly managed her own finances and continued supporting her family, often absorbing blows that could have destroyed lesser women. Today, she lives privately, away from cameras, as a stabilizing presence in the Teutul family. The financial collapse of OCC wasn't limited to one person. Foreclosures, tax debts, and lawsuits hit nearly everyone. The Montgomery mansion, multiple properties, and even equipment were sold or repossessed. Legal disputes piled up, copyright infringements, fraud allegations, and personal lawsuits created a web of chaos. Each family member, contractor, and employee had their own battle, some public, some hidden. By 2020, the empire that seemed untouchable on TV had fragmented completely. The custom motorcycle world itself was changing. Cable TV fame didn't guarantee sales. Fans moved on. Financial crises wiped out discretionary spending, and the market for luxury choppers vanished almost overnight. For former OCC stars, this meant adapting, or failing. Paul Jr. focused on high-end commissioned bikes, Vinny fixed local vehicles, Mikey pivoted to art and gourmet food, and Rick Petco built custom knives and bands. Each found a new way to survive, proving adaptability was just as important as skill. Despite the collapse, OCC left a lasting mark on motorcycle culture. Shows inspired builders worldwide, and their bikes remain iconic. Even those who struggled financially or legally carry a legacy of craftsmanship, creativity, and resilience. Paul Sr. continues building bikes, showing on YouTube and at events. Paul Jr. remains a respected designer. Mikey's art and culinary ventures reflect personal growth. Daniel Teutul quietly dominates the steel industry. Each story is a lesson in resilience, adaptation, and the reality behind television fame. Before Cody became a young star on the show, he was a quiet observer, learning every tool, technique, and design principle from the Teutul's. Paul Sr. saw potential in the 14-year-old, investing not just in his skill but in his education at the American Motorcycle Institute. Cody absorbed every lesson, welding tanks, shaping frames, and understanding the intricate details that made OCC bikes legendary. But as he grew, the pressures of fame and family dynamics became overwhelming. He was a teenager navigating lawsuits, public scrutiny, and the impossible expectations of reality TV. By 2007, the only way to reclaim his autonomy was to walk away, eventually transitioning to a career far removed from bikes. His story is a reminder, even prodigies must choose their own path. One of the most mysterious aspects of the OCC story involves a son who vanished from the public eye after a legal battle. The details are scarce, but what is known as alarming: after suing for $250,000, he disappeared completely. No media, no public appearances, no social media updates. The fallout left a gap in the family, a story never fully told, but the impact rippled through the business and personal relationships. This vanishing act shows how reality TV fame can be a double-edged sword. When personal grievances collide with public scrutiny, sometimes the only solution is complete disappearance. Mikey Teutul's struggles with alcohol highlight a recurring theme behind the glitz and engines: addiction. While viewers saw him joking on screen, the reality was harsher. Long hours, stress, family conflict, and public pressure all contributed to his decline. His rehabilitation journey is both sobering and inspiring. After hitting rock bottom, Mikey committed to recovery, rebuilt his life, and found new ventures that provided stability and purpose. Today, his work in art and culinary projects proves that personal redemption is possible even after public failure. Not every OCC employee made headlines. Some quietly supported the shop, ensuring bikes were completed and clients satisfied. Men like Steve Morrow, Christian Welter, and Nick Hansford kept the engines running while chaos swirled around them. Their stories remind us that success behind the camera is often invisible. These men avoided lawsuits, bankruptcy, and media exposure, not because they lacked talent, but because they focused on work over drama. Stability, sometimes, is the greatest achievement. Vinny D. Martino's departure from OCC led to the creation of V-Force Customs, a shop he co-founded with Cody Connolly. Early success was promising, bikes sold, clients were satisfied, and reputation grew. But external pressures soon appeared. The 2008 financial crisis decimated discretionary spending, leaving few buyers for high-end custom choppers. V-Force couldn't survive. Equipment was sold, the shop closed, and dreams folded. Yet Vinny's pivot to DeMartino Motorsports showed resilience. He transformed a failed venture into a sustainable business, serving his community instead of chasing television fame. While the Teutuls were the faces of OCC, the business relied on investors who often remained in the shadows. People like Thomas Derbyshire and other financiers trusted the family with millions, only to face mismanagement and secrecy. These investors learned harsh lessons about celebrity partnerships. Even with the biggest names and the most successful shows, oversight is crucial. Many quietly walked away, focusing on new ventures, leaving OCC to manage its internal chaos. Several former OCC members faced legal battles over intellectual property. Cody Connolly, Mikey Teutul, and others discovered their images or designs were used without permission on merchandise. Posters, t-shirts, and promotional materials generated profit for the company while they received nothing. These lawsuits reveal a darker side of fame: exploitation. Even family members or employees can be left out of financial rewards while the brand continues to profit. The lesson? Fame does not guarantee fairness. Not everyone sought the camera. Men like Nick Hansford and Christian Welter became legends in their own right by focusing on mastery of craft. While others fought in courtrooms or battled bankruptcy, these builders quietly honed their skills, earning respect in the motorcycle community without public attention. Their journeys highlight that personal integrity, steady work, and discretion can be more valuable than television fame. The Teutul's empire once spanned TV shows, merchandise, and workshops. But empires built on family tension, public feuds, and poor financial management are fragile. By 2020, Orange County choppers had fractured completely. Bankruptcy filings, foreclosures, and lost investments scattered the family and crew across the country. This collapse isn't just financial, it's emotional, cultural, and symbolic. The dream that inspired millions on TV became a cautionary tale, a reminder that success requires more than skill, it requires discipline, trust, and management. After leaving New York, Paul Teutul Sr. tried to rebuild his life and legacy in Clearwater, Florida. The OC Museum and Roadhouse became his new base, a place where he could continue building bikes, meet fans, and post videos on YouTube. But the glory days were gone. The financial losses, lawsuits, and family disputes had taken their toll. Even at 76, he continued to work tirelessly, often taking on the same long hours that once fueled his fame. Fans still cheered, but the empire he had once commanded on national television was now a quieter, smaller version of itself. Yet Sr. refused to let go of his identity. The roar of engines and the smell of gasoline were his constant companions, a reminder that some parts of him would never fade. Paul Jr. designs became more than a brand, it was a second chance. Paul Jr. worked with major companies, Microsoft, Mercedes-Benz, and Cadillac, building custom bikes that combined artistry and precision. While his net worth never matched the peak of OCC fame, his creative freedom flourished. But the road wasn't easy. Paul Jr. faced financial pressures, bankruptcy filings, and a fractured relationship with his father. Despite this, he remained focused on design and innovation, proving that passion could survive even in the aftermath of chaos. Today, Paul Jr. continues to influence motorcycle culture, attending high-end competitions and judging events, keeping the name alive in a new, more controlled way. Mikey Teutul's story is one of redemption. Kicked out of OCC due to alcoholism, he faced the harsh reality of losing his family, career, and stability. Rehab became a turning point, and Mikey dedicated himself to recovery. He returned to OCC, not as a star but as assistant general manager, handling social media and operations. Mikey also launched Fark Products LLC, selling gourmet pasta sauces, and opened an art gallery in Montgomery, New York, showcasing metal sculptures and paintings. His journey shows that even when the spotlight fades, personal purpose and creativity can shine. Vinny D. Martino walked away from OCC at a time when many would have craved the fame and attention. He co-founded V-Force Customs with Cody Connolly, achieving early success before the 2008 financial crisis devastated the luxury custom bike market. Vinny's pivot to DeMartino Motorsports was both practical and courageous. No cameras, no TV contracts, just honest work fixing cars and trucks for local clients. Today, Vinny's net worth is around $1 million, proof that rebuilding quietly, without drama, can be just as fulfilling as television stardom. Rick Petco spent over a decade commuting 90 minutes each way to work at OCC, maintaining focus and professionalism amid chaos. While others screamed and fought on camera, Rick quietly built bikes, earning recognition and respect within the shop. By 2016, he left to focus on family and personal projects. He founded RPD & Co., handcrafting knives and wedding bands, and now attends motorcycle shows with his family, free from cameras and drama. His story highlights that dedication, patience, and hard work can lead to fulfillment beyond fame or fortune. Cody Connolly's departure at 20 marked a turning point in his life. He had grown up on television, welding bikes, and learning from the Teutuls, but the pressures of fame and legal disputes became too much. After a $250,000 lawsuit settlement, Cody stepped away from the motorcycle industry entirely. Today, he runs Revel Ranch Excavation, focusing on demolition, land clearing, and drainage. Married with a daughter, Cody lives far from the spotlight, proving that success can be found in quieter, practical pursuits. Jason Paul joined OCC as a designer in 2004, bringing innovative, futuristic ideas that were both admired and criticized. On screen, he became a polarizing figure, called arrogant and trolled by fans online. By 2020, with OCC in financial collapse, Jason left the company and moved to Florida. Today, he works as a SolidWorks brand ambassador, designing in a quieter, more controlled environment. His net worth is estimated at $700,000, demonstrating that personal skill and adaptability can survive even public criticism and professional setbacks. While chaos engulfed the Teutul's, Nick Hansford and Christian Welter focused on their craft. Nick, a skilled mechanic, stayed out of lawsuits and family drama, quietly building bikes for 17 years. Christian, head mechanic and shop foreman, managed technical builds while also pursuing music, releasing an album with fellow employees. Both men demonstrate that stability, discretion, and skill often matter more than fame. They avoided lawsuits, bankruptcy, and public spectacle, creating careers built on mastery rather than notoriety. Daniel Teutul, Paul Sr.'s second oldest son, was never on camera but played a critical role in OCC's history. Accused of stripping OC Ironworks of assets in 2007, Daniel faced a $500,000 fine, far larger than the penalties his brothers received. Instead of folding, he rebuilt. He founded Gabriel Steel, expanded his workforce to 69 employees by 2024, and constructed the massive OCC headquarters. Daniel's story is one of resilience, showing that financial acumen, determination, and focus can turn scandal into long-term success. The rise and fall of OCC coincided with a broader cultural shift. Cable TV fame could no longer guarantee sales. The 2008 financial crisis decimated discretionary spending, and the luxury motorcycle market contracted sharply. Many former stars had to adapt. Paul Jr. focused on high-end commissioned bikes, Mikey explored art and culinary ventures, Vinny fixed local vehicles, and Rick Petco handcrafted knives. These pivots highlight a crucial truth: survival in a changing industry requires flexibility, innovation, and resilience. Several former OCC members, including Cody Connolly and Mikey Teutul, faced legal battles over intellectual property and merchandise. Their likenesses or designs were used without permission, generating profit for the company while leaving them uncompensated. These disputes reveal the hidden dangers of fame and business partnerships. Even family members and trusted employees can face exploitation, underscoring the importance of contracts, legal awareness, and personal boundaries. Behind the engines and cameras, the human cost was immense. Family relationships fractured, employees faced financial ruin, and personal struggles, like addiction, mental health issues, and public scrutiny, added layers of complexity. Mikey Teutul's alcoholism, Paul Sr.'s legal battles, and the vanishing son's disappearance all demonstrate that fame often comes with hidden sacrifices. The story of OCC is not just one of motorcycles, it's a story about family, ambition, and the price of television success. The saga of OCC is a cautionary tale, but also a story of resilience. The motorcycles they built remain iconic, and the lessons learned continue to inspire builders, entrepreneurs, and fans worldwide. From bankruptcy courts to art galleries, from small local shops to massive steel enterprises, the stories of Orange County Chopper's family and crew reveal one truth: success isn't measured by fame, but by persistence, adaptability, and the ability to rebuild when everything falls apart. The roar of engines may have faded from national television, but the legacy, craftsmanship, and human stories behind OCC continue to echo, reminding us that even when the cameras stop rolling,